Hello, everybody. I'm Brennan Marcello, Jolie Erickson. We're going to talk a little bit about defense. Ellis Johnson, defensive coordinator. They have not had a lot of missed assignments. Thanks.
We get fans. It happens.
They haven't had a lot of missed assignments lately, but the South Carolina game, Ellis Johnson says they've had communication issues, and those keep popping up, almost like last season.
Yeah, it's really one of those things that's kind of happened in this game specifically. It's one of those things that's happened in this game specifically. Our fan happens to be an Auburn player, of which we'll not mention his name. You'll have to guess.
Blocks a lot.
Anyway, it hasn't been something I've noticed. I noticed it. You noticed it last year. Didn't notice it this season.
Yeah.
Until Friday night, there were a lot of plays. South Carolina's up the line. They do a formation shift, something like that, and you see defensive backs talking to each other as the ball's being snapped. There was one play where the ball was snapped, and Robinson Threesy's back was turned to it. He was communicating with the corner on his side, or talking to the corner on his side, not knowing what was going on. Something we hadn't seen much of. Obviously, if you don't know what's going on when the ball's snapped, it's hard to play defense.
Robinson Threesy and Justin Garrett, by the way, collided on one play and took each other out, wiped each other out completely from a play. And it was just that type of night. I don't think they were not set at times, and when they did get set, it was right before the snap. And of course, that can be confusing for a player when it's happening that fast. But credit a lot of it to Steve Spurrier. We all know he's an incredible play caller, but that was one of the. I felt like I was watching Florida in 1996 or something. During the game. It was a lot of fun to watch. But what's Auburn got to do moving forward? They obviously got to clear those up. What exactly the communication issues are they just varying? We'll find out maybe against Ole Miss if those pop up again. But Ole Miss is an offense that likes to use quick fire passes. Not known primarily as a running team. They've struggled a little bit with that. They did last year against Auburn. What should we kind of expect going into this game for Auburn's defense?
Well, the other hard part is that Ellis also said that a couple of those plays were resulted of they'd been checking into the same coverage. Auburn's defensive backs have checked into the same coverage over and over again and developed a tendency, and then they exploited that tendency.
Yeah.
Hard part about that is you have to get them to break that tendency and at the same time make sure everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
So I'd say it's going to be really they just have to lock stuff in. I know they went in more intense, shorter practices last week. Trying to get the edge or whatever. Now they've got to get it broken down to where they know where they're going. Ole Miss does some formation shifting. That'll be an issue again. Comes down to going over and over and over and making sure, okay, on this play, what do we do? It's a meeting thing. It kind of happens on the practice field, but it's really probably more happens in meetings. If they're showing film, and you say, okay, Ole Miss did this. What do we check into?
Yeah, Ole Miss, by the way, they had a former staffer, Ryan Applin, who Gus Malzahn and Hugh Freeze coached at one point in different tenures at Arkansas State. Applin was on Ole Miss's staff in 2013, then joined Auburn's staff in May, and Ellis Johnson, Auburn's defensive coordinator, said Applin will be in the film room with them this week. Not necessarily telling them what's going to happen because they can study the film themselves, but maybe giving them some advice on what he would do if he was the quarterback in that situation, knowing the type of things that Hugh Freeze likes to do and likes his quarterback to do when he's on the field once the play calls in. So it'll be interesting to watch that. Ole Miss fans probably don't like hearing that, especially after the Tyler Siskey stuff. But it is what it is.
Anyway, we'll have much more on that. Hugh Freeze talks tomorrow, so we'll have a better sense of what they're thinking from the Ole Miss side. And then Gus talks on Tuesday, and we'll be back with some more videos to kind of update you on how it's going. More coverage coming at AL.com.